Hi, it's Denise with Pampered Chef. How are you guys today? I am doing good. I am kind of going through a bit of a whirlwind this week. I think I bit off a little bit more than I can chew. Have you ever had one of those weeks? Today I am cooking up some Tuscan chicken with a twist. So I would like to share my post here or share my video with a few other groups. So if you'll bear with me just for a second. The Tuscan chicken, I went ahead and started my meat in the quick cooker, and so that's already cooking. You can do it, like if I had bone in, so I didn't want to do it in the quick cooker with the rest of the meat because I wanted it separate. But normally, I would just do like chicken breasts and they would go in with the quick cooker with the pasta. But I just felt like this was just a better option for me today because of where the bone-in issue going on. So let's see, I'm having a difficult situation here with getting my page to open up here. There we go. And there we go. Sorry about that, everyone. But what we're going to do is I've got, I went ahead and made some bacon in the quick cooker. I actually had two quick cookers going today. The wonderful benefits of being a consultant is sometimes you get two of things. I oftentimes will get two of things because I'm a director, and directors often will get kind of like one that you can sample with your group, your team, and then another one that they will send you because maybe you earned it through the free-for-all. So there's lots of cool options. I have some garlic infused, or actually some basil infused. Put that off for just a second. Olive oil that I made. And before I do that, I'm going to show you how to quickly slice the onions. I just went ahead and quartered them just because I kind of want some sliced up pieces here, and I'm just going to stick those right in our rapid prep mandolin. And this is awesome because you can do lots of different sizes. You could do really thin, you could do thick, you could do French fry cut, you could do like a really thin julienne cut. So I have just really loved being able to just play with this and make lots of like vegetable trays and prepping vegetables for the week and things like that. So it's quite simple. You can see how it just kind of pops out the side, and I have nice little sliced up onions like so. So I'm going to put that right in there, get those sauteed up with a little bit of that basil olive oil, infused olive oil with basil. And that I made in the blender last week. We have a ton of basil, so I'm just kind of like trying to figure out ways to use it up. So hence today's recipe. And we're going to also use a little bit of garlic, and I have fresh garlic. Actually, somebody gave me some fresh garlic. My sister-in-law's in-laws actually grow it, and so that's pretty awesome. I was able to get it. Just kind of rolling it using our garlic peeler. And it essentially just easily takes off that peel, really simple, and it just kind of throws it out the other side. So we're going to use the garlic slicer, and we're just going to throw our garlic in the bottom. Ooh, that's kind of a thick one. See if it fits in there. I have to cut that one up. Got some big garlics going on today. And there we go. Just cut that in half. Sometimes people ask me, well, why do you sometimes mince garlic, and sometimes why do you slice garlic? Well, there's just kind of like when you brew coffee, different ways you brew coffee releases different flavors out of the bean. So it's very similar in how you work with when you slice and mince garlic. So if you slice it really thin, it's going to release those flavors a little bit differently because of the surface area that it has on the garlic. Okay, I'm going to put these in here. So I'm not quite sure if I'm ready to toss those in there yet. But this garlic peeler and slicer set works great because it really makes that paper thin garlic slice so easy to use and to do. So it's just, I don't know if you can see that, just making nice paper thin slices of garlic. So it does take a little bit of time, but so does slicing it really thin. And I feel like I don't have to really worry so much about my fingers getting so garlicky smell. Okay, we're gonna add to our pot here the garlic. And this is where if you were gonna use chicken breasts, you would pop those in with the onion here, and you would just cook, kind of partially cook up that chicken right in there, right at that time. So I'm just going to saute that up. What that does, a lot of recipes will call for you to saute your onions, and your garlic, oftentimes peppers, things like that. And that really just brings out that flavor, brings out that delicious flavor, kind of gets them softened up so that they meld really well with your dishes. So we're going to kind of saute that up for just a little bit. I want to get my garlic. They usually say when it's fragrant, you don't want to overcook your garlic. You don't want it to get brown because sometimes then it gets a little bitter. But if you're making like a pasta dish, you'll always find that if you kind of brown it up, or kind of not brown it, but kind of just saute it up a little bit, release those flavors, it has a completely different flavor than when you don't. And oh, I think this is going to taste really good because there's a little bit of bacon grease left over in there. So, and I just have it on the sear function, so that is super easy. You can do, a couple of different functions with one meal. So I'm actually going to shut this off. I'm going to add in to kind of deglaze the pan. And what does deglaze the pan mean? That's just essentially when you have, I'm going to show you this one. This one's great because it has like a nice flat edge, so you can get all the crusty bits. That's what you're doing when you're deglazing the pan. You want to get all those little bits of flavor that are on the bottom of your pan, on the bottom of your quick cooker, and that will just help enhance your dish. Okay, so from there we are going to add in our spaghetti noodles. We're going to break those in half before we add them in. So I'm going to just kind of take a piece, take a big chunk, break them in half, put them in the bottom, and this is going to be so easy peasy. I have made this recipe quite a few times. In typical Denise Goddard fashion, I don't have all the recipe ingredients exactly like they're called for. So, oh, you guys gotta see how strong I am. So instead of the spinach, I'm gonna use kale because we have kale from our garden, but I think it's gonna work out just fine. I did have chicken broth, but it was really frozen, so I just went ahead with some water, and I always like to use this better than bouillon, so if I don't have chicken broth on hand, I just kind of use that instead. I'm going to add in, just make sure I do this right, I'm going to add in my chicken stock, broth, whatever you got. I'm going to make sure I get all those yummy flavors off the bottom from that stock flavoring. Then I'm going to add in, I didn't have fire roasted tomatoes, but we had some tomatoes from our garden that we canned last year. So I just threw in some spices to kind of bam it up. A little bit of oregano, some chili powder. I think there might have been a little bit of cumin. I'm not sure if that was a good idea or not with that seasoning, but we'll find out. So then we're going to, I don't think I'm going to put any salt in because I am going to be adding bacon, which tends to be a little bit of a salty, adds a little salt to it. I can flavor it at the end too, but I am just going to add in a little bit of pepper using our pepper grinder, salt and pepper grinder, and those you can get with Pampered Chef too. Definitely a favorite. We're going to kind of stir it all together. Whoops, a little garlic paper in there, and just going to get all of those seasonings to kind of mix in there. Okay, now we're gonna put our lid on our quick cooker. When you use the quick cooker, you always wanna make sure that your little button is flat, that your little cloud icon is, steam icon is the same way. And then you essentially just hit custom, hit time, and I believe it's just gonna go for 5 minutes. It'll come up to pressure. It'll take about probably about 10 minutes to come to pressure. Then it will cook. It'll get my noodles all done, and then it will be ready to go. I will be adding some Parmesan cheese that I will kind of grate up with the microplane fine grater. I've already cooked the bacon, so that's good to go. After it's done, I am going to release it manually, meaning once it's done, I just kind of hit the steam release button, and I usually turn it so that it's not facing any of your cupboards or anything like that. From there, I'll just kind of stir everything up, and I'm going to add in a cup of heavy cream and that Parmesan cheese, and I'm just going to kind of cook it up inside there so it gets nice and bubbly and creamy. If it's a little thick, I'll add a little bit of that stock again. I'll add the kale to that and the bacon and just kind of stir it all together. And I'm going to serve the chicken on the side. So I think it's going to be really delicious even if the chicken isn't in there. So and that's it. That's how fast and easy this recipe is. It's awesome. Other thing is, I need to let everybody know the quick cooker, the blender, the air fryer, the quicker, blender, air fryer. What am I missing? Oh, the deluxe grill and griddle are all on sale in the month of August. So 25% off. If you have a past host discount, that also applies after the 25% off. So it's a great deal if you're looking to use up your past host discount. So, or just get them at a discount. How awesome is that? Anyway, thank you so much. I will see you around.